Is a pedestrian passing game paralyzing your offense? Well, no longer. It's time to let that downfield passing game out of the cage. All these clips are against USC. They're a big, physical football team that wants to make you play in a phone booth. Look at the route combination here, and you can see that spreading this team out is exactly what I'm trying to do. The A route attacks that far right-hand safety, keeping him pinned to the sideline. That should open up the middle of the field, as the other safety is in a bind. He's got to respect the out route deep on the X, and that leaves the middle slot receiver wide open. Let's take a look at that replay. 87 has a defender lined up over him, but that's a linebacker. I'm not too concerned with him, and he's about 6 yards off. You can see we have actually four potential pass defenders on the right side of the ball, but I only have 2 receivers going to that side. Throwing to the right side is not going to be an option. Right at the snap, I can see that the linebacker that was over number 87 is cleared out and is covering the flat. That leaves the middle of the field wide open. You want to get this ball to your receiver as quickly as possible so he can turn upfield. Now, you're not going to get a lot of yards here. I'm surrounded by 6 guys. But you want big plays out of the passing game. That's why I'm looking to throw over the middle first and not throw to number 81, the second slot receiver, on a quick out. He is open because he's covered by the linebacker, but we want to get the big play. Big plays in the passing game equal points. Here's a play from later in that same drive. Variation on a theme. This time we've got number 87 running to the sideline and number 81 challenging deep. Pre-snap, we got some weird stuff happening on the left-hand side. Can you spot it? Let's take a look at how this play unfolds. Right from pre-snap, I knew we had something going on the left-hand side. Nobody's covering up number 87, and we have 2 defensive players stacked on top of each other, the linebacker on the left side and the safety on the left side. This usually means man coverage and or blitz. This is definitely not a zone look. Early in the down, I see the free safety bail out to my right. That means nobody is covering over the top deep to the left, and that corner route's going to be wide open. Even if the cornerback had good coverage, I'd still be throwing to that guy. I love throwing for the end zone from about the 20-yard line. Once you get inside the 20, the field shrinks fast and it's harder to throw the ball. As you can see, my guy breaks wide open. Let's go back and find out how he did it. Look at how he gets off the line of scrimmage, avoiding the jam and getting clean downfield. Once the corner misses the jam here, this play is over. He's got nobody back there to help him. Also, watch the linebacker at the snap charge out to the flat. He's got that man in man coverage responsibility. The second you see a linebacker sprinting to the flat like that on any play, you know he's got man coverage. Now, depending on your route combination, you're going to do one of 2 things. You're either going to challenge that linebacker to make a play out in space on a receiver, or you're going to go for the long ball. When you got a single high safety, there's no choice at all. You go deep, especially around the 20-yard line. It's a great place to strike through the air. With the single high safety, the primary read I've got on this play is which direction does he go. If he drifts right at the start of the play, I know my corner route's going to be the route I'm going to go to. If he drifts to the left to take that route away, then I'm looking to go underneath and challenge that linebacker to make a play on my receiver. That's a matchup your receiver needs to win. Here's a 1st and 10 play from the next series. Again, pre-snap, we've got an anomaly here on the left-hand side. Can you see it? 2 guys stacked over the top of each other either means 1, homo, or 2, double corner blitz. In this case, it's both. Let's take a look at that replay. Pre-snap, we look at the left-hand side again. We've got nobody over number 87. And 2 guys stacked over number 81, linebacker and a corner. Once again, we're looking at either a man or a blitz, as I said earlier. Now you want to check your protection scheme. I don't have enough guys over on that left side to stop a blitz, so I know that ball's got to come out hot. And number 87's just the man to catch that hot ball. I also see the free safety on that side bail out hard to his right, my left. As soon as he does that, he opens up a huge lane to throw this ball into and try to go all the way up to the end zone. Here we are again on 1st and 10. In case you haven't noticed, I love to throw on 1st and 10. Once again, I'm looking for the big play. But you have number 81 Childs challenging deep over the middle. We've got a player lined up over the top of him, 3 players lined up over each receiver on the right-hand side. To make sure this play is available, I need to check that middle linebacker. Sure enough, he does exactly what I expect. Here's how I knew. Looking over the field, we see that each receiver has a defender lined up over the top of him, with 2 deep safeties. This is a typical cover 2 shell look, a zone look. Now, if I want to hit number 81 over the middle on that post route, I've got to make sure this isn't a classic cover 2 where the middle linebacker turns and runs backwards to fill that void in the middle. At the snap of the ball, we see that the middle linebacker freezes and does not get any depth to take away that post route. What this tells me is we're actually looking at a cover 2 over man under look. That is, we have man coverage on the underneath and the 2 safeties are playing a deep 2-half shell. As a result, the middle linebacker is frozen, looking at my back in the backfield. That is his responsibility in this coverage. Unfortunately, that leaves the middle wide open for USC, and I take full advantage. Again, you want to make sure that middle linebacker isn't getting depth. If he is, he will drop back and pick that pass off. But as soon as I see that he's frozen and I've got space behind him, I deliver that football right as my receiver comes out of his break. That is when you want to deliver the football. Also, it's very important to throw your man open. And what that means is you want to lead him into the open space. You don't want to throw it right at him. He's not going to be able to get any yards after the catch. It could also lead to an interception. As you see here, just as he comes out of his break, I fire into the void, throwing my receiver open, allowing him to make the catch, cover up, and avoid a potential drop or fumble. Apart from throwing out of your own end zone, throwing the ball inside the 10-yard line when going in for a score is probably the most dangerous place on the field to attempt to pass. Pre-snap, I already know one half of the field is not available to me. Can you see which half? Now that I've determined which half of the field is going to be most advantageous for me to score, I let her rip. Let's see how it unfolds. Now that we've already gone through a few plays, you should have noticed USC's tendencies already. I know I have. They love to play man under. Especially backed up on the goal line, defenses tend to do what they like to do best. I expect USC is going to do the same thing, play a man under look, but just to be sure, I'm going to read the E in Tigers in the end zone. I want to check to see if that clogs up with players. If it does, I know I'm looking at man coverage. Right at the snap of the ball, we can see that it does clog up with players chasing my receivers all over the field. We're looking at man. The toughest route for a linebacker to cover in this situation is that route that my tight end's going to run directly to the corner of the end zone. Now, right from the beginning, the linebacker's going to be in chase mode. There's no way he's going to be able to beat the speed of my tight end to that corner. Again, I'm looking at the E in Tigers here in the end zone. If that space opens up after the snap, probably got a zone look, and my far right, wide receiver's running a little hitch. He's going to sit down right in that area and make himself available for the pass. As you can see, we've got a ton of traffic right in that area. That tells me man coverage. It also tells me that whoever's covering my tight end is going to get caught up in the wash and is not going to be able to get there in time. Since I called this play to the wide side of the field, that gives my tight end plenty of room to run out to the pylon, create separation, and get in the end zone. Let's take a look at the left side of the field. I knew pre-snap this wasn't going to be available. Hopefully you saw it too. Here's how I knew. I got one receiver only, and 3 potential pass defenders. Unless those 2 guys are blitzing, there's no chance I'm going to hit that slant. Early in the down, we see the corners taking away the slant by jumping the inside route. Not an option. Here's the last play for this video. Let's check the route combination. Now right away, I like what I'm seeing on the right side of the field. I love throwing that deep into my X-Man, but USC's a big physical team and he's not a physical receiver. Look at him get jammed up on the line of scrimmage. Gotta know your receivers, gotta know that other team. Know yourself, know your enemy. In 1,000 battles, you will not be defeated. If you know what book that's from, kudos to you. Let's check the route combination on that right-hand side. Right away, there is nobody underneath the corner route. Both corners on the right-hand side jump all over my wide receiver like two white college undergrads on an unpaid internship. And because there's nobody underneath on that corner route, this is like stealing candy from a baby. Deliver the football just before your receiver comes out of his break. Just before. Don't throw a fastball. You don't need a lot of velocity. Just get it out of your hand right before he comes out of his break. This will make sure that the free safety doesn't get an early jump on the ball and pick it off. Let's take one more look at that route. Time for some review. What have we learned? Number 1, know yourself, your strengths, know your enemy and their tendencies. This will help you in determining what kind of strategy is going to work best. Pick a side of the field that looks most advantageous. This will help you out in processing information and getting the ball out quickly. Timing is key on routes. Know how and when to throw your receivers open so they can catch the ball safely and hopefully get yards after the catch. You may have to stand tall in the pocket and take some shots, but it's well worth the effort. Lastly, know how your route combinations will challenge a given defense. Remember, think deep first. Deep throws get big plays, and big plays get points. See ya!